Hey yo, what's going on YouTube? Carfight King here, Aqua Life all day, baby. Um, just wanted to make an update to my Maelstrom deck profile. I had a subscriber ask me if I've changed the deck over the last month and a half, and yes, I have changed the deck up. I really like how it is right now. It's still going through a bunch of testing. This is the build I'm playing with right now in free play, and it's gonna keep changing. I'm probably gonna change it after this video, but this is what I have for it so far. So let me get into what's new with it. So as you know, Eric is a starter, great grade 3 searcher. I changed it up from 8 stand to 6 stand triggers. I realize that sometimes if you just don't have your early rush with stand triggers, like it's not like when you play crit triggers, like, oh, I'll just swing with the Vanguard and nothing else in the field and hit a crit, like, oh, take 2 damage. No, I mean, with stand triggers are really lethal when you're able to get in multiple attacks, and if you're not able to grade 1, if you're not able to rush early with the deck and you hit a stand trigger, then that's like a dead trigger. So in order to reduce the amount of dead triggers on deck, I went down to 6 stands. And what did I put in place of the stands? I put in 2 4-draw triggers. Still running Malika. Malika, she's just too clutch of a card. Pushing a soul, get +3 to a unit. Really, really good. Again, she helps alleviate the dead trigger problem, so that if I do have to swing with it, the probability of me getting a stand trigger is a little bit lower. And if I do get a draw trigger, I should say, then that'd be like, oh great, I just plussed. So really good card. And 4 of the Ice Flow Angel Field trigger. I prefer the sexy girl with the legs, but I got these and it's what it is. But yeah, alright, grade 1. Alright guys, for my grade 1 lineup, still running the 3 Wheel Assaults. Wheel Assault is a lot more free in this deck. I'm able to combo him a lot better, early and late in this deck, more so than Tetra Drive, because of the usage of Counter Blast. Like, my Vanguard doesn't, oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. My Vanguard doesn't use Counter Blast as much because it has to hit to do things, but even though his on hit is really devastating, he's really good in the deck. Got 3 Mercenary Brave Shooter. I'm really considering bumping him up to 4. 3 is okay, but I'm really considering bumping him up to 4 because the 10k attack, that early game rush, is just too clutch, and I really need that. So I'm probably going to definitely bump him up to 4. But for right now, I have 3. Still running 2 Dorotheas. Vanguard booster, when it's the 3rd battle of that turn or more, when you boost an Aqua Force Vanguard, gets pretty much, she's a 10k booster. I like her and I don't like her, because there's sometimes where I don't see her until later in the game and I already have an established booster, like a nice 7k booster and whatnot, and I can swing for 23 with Maelstrom, so as opposed to like 26 or whatever. So I mean, having the 26 is good, but I would rather have a booster that's more flexible in the deck than her. So again, she's another card that is definitely subject to change. I got 1 copy of Light Signals Penguin Soldier. I always usually run 1 tech of him in, Soul Blast 2, draw 1. Still a really good card. May bump him up to 2, but not right now. And got my 1 copy of Storm Rider Eugene. Again, he's good for grade 1 rushes. When your opponent rides their grade 1, or when you ride your grade 1 and you start rushing, he's still pretty good. And if you just need, if it's like this, okay, Basil's not going to hit, Diamante's not going to hit, but I can use those columns, for a bit better usage. You can just swing with him first and then move him back. So he's still good. And if you put Malika in the soul and give him +3, he hits 11 Ks. So he has his uses in the deck. They'll be better when set 15 comes out, but for right now, he's doing pretty fine. And then 4 perfect guards. Gotta have them. 2 clutch. Alright, grade 2. Alright, so for the grade 2s, running 3 copies of Twin Strike Brave Shooter. Not sure if I want to bump him up to 4 in this deck as he is in Tetra Drive, but for right now, 3 is working out pretty nicely. The grade 2 rush is really good. He's not as great with stands. Ooh, excuse me. He's not as great with stands as I would like him to be, but it is what it is. Got to deal with it. 4 Tidal Assaults. Yeah, clutch. Too clutch of a card. Even with the stand trigger deck, putting a trigger on him, making him swing 14, 19, then restand for like 16, 22, or 21, excuse me. Just a beautiful card. And early game rushes 9, restand 11. Too good. I run now 3 copies of Basil. As I told you in my Tetra Drive deck, I acquired some new cards and I got me an extra copy of Basil. Okay, look, I'm cheap and I switched the copies out, so leave me alone. But Basil's really, really good. Has improved. I haven't tested it out with him just yet, but you know, playing Tetra Drive, he improves the consistency of the grade 2 rush, and that's what I wanted my deck to do. I wanted my deck to be able to rush at any point, be able to force out some early guarding, and then fall back on the defense when I need to. So, really, really helped me control the pace of the game, control my opponent's hand, control the field. So, really good card. And my 1 tech copy of Tier Knight Valeria, if she hits the Vanguard on the 4th battle or more of that turn, I pretty much get to retire a unit. So it's kind of like getting part of Maelstrom's effect for free if she hits. She doesn't get off that much, but I like cards like her because they're not supposed to get off, and so it's either your opponent's going to take a damage and lose a card, or they're going to drop a card from their hand. That's how I see it. So 1 copy of her is, you know, it's pretty good. I see her sometimes, and if I don't, I don't really care. But she's pretty good when I see her. Grade 3. Alright, for grade 3, we always got to start out with the clutchest. The clutchest Diamantes. Now, in this deck I run 2. I'm running 8 grade 3s in this deck. It's probably going to change to 9 grade 3s when I get, you know, maybe another glory or something. But for right now, definitely working out really nicely in this deck. I really like Diamantes in this deck, really good. Again, reaching the 4th battle is the objective, and he does it to pretty much the best degree possible, poking for 11 Ks and whatnot. And if you have to ride him, you gotta deal with it. It's whatever. Alright. 2 Glory Maelstroms. I don't like him with stand triggers at all, really, but the cross ride is good, and being able to negate pretty much no perfect guards or higher can block him except intercepts. Really good for late game pushes when your opponent's on 5, you're on 5, and you want to try and win the game. Ooh, excuse me. But otherwise, he's just a dead vanilla, and a lot of times I find myself just calling him to the rear guard circle as an attacker. So yeah. And then we got the OGB. Yeah, rip that joint like every day. Original boss of the Aqua Force. Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom. When he hit, if it's the 4th battle that turn or more, he gains 5,000 power, and if he hits the Vanguard, counterblast 1, draw 1, retire 1 on your opponent's side of the field. Really good card, really great pressure card. You can bait your opponent into getting you to 4 damage. I'm actually probably going to put the self-damagers back into this deck. That's one of the ideas I have rather than running Dorothea the self-damagers, but still really good for putting some pressure on, like I said, baiting your opponent to hitting you to 4 damage, then just getting him off to draw cards and kill their field off. So really good card. Main star, you know, he's the star of the deck. One of my favorite cards of all time. But yeah, that's the deck profile for Maelstrom. I hope you enjoyed it. The subscriber who requested it, here you go, bro. I hope you enjoyed it too. And yeah, so this is the Car Fight King, and I'm out. It's Aqua Life all day, baby.